Okay, so I'm just going to do a short little garden tour today. I'm going to upload this to my YouTube channel just so we can see what the progress is made. Yesterday I did some weed whacking around the edges because obviously we still have a lot of work to do around the edges. We'll probably be putting up new fencing. This is the material that we use to keep the deer out. I'll show you at the other end. Currently we had to put it up even higher because the deer actually hopped over my little board that I used to have. This was kind of my extra peppers. I had so many peppers that had germinated, and so some of them have kind of dwindled off. They were more the sickly ones, but I have some really healthy ones that decided to make it. Some weird peppers. This is a Murasaki pepper, the one that I'm zooming in on. It's supposed to have like black peppers on it. I got some green peppers and extra jalapenos in here as well. I got watermelon. Here's my cucumbers. They're climbing up. And then I've got my beans over here. And they're climbing up the trellis. They're so cool because they really do just kind of reach and vine right there across the trellis. I've got bush beans back here. So as you can see, I've got a ton of those coming on. Those are red swan bush beans, and I've also got some blue lake bush beans in here. My little weed bucket. So I constantly am trying to keep up on weeds. These beds don't get a lot of weeds in them anyway as it is because it's 100% organic compost. Then I've got some cauliflowers, extra cauliflower growing. I'm hoping I can get another harvest out of those with some peppers. And again, more extra peppers. I think there's like a lilac bell pepper in there and some orange bell peppers. And I've got my cherry tomatoes also climbing the trellises. So as you can see, as they start to go up, I just kind of pull them through and they will grow up and over. By the end of August, this thing will most likely be completely covered with cherry tomatoes that I can just kind of pick from under the trellis and in the shade. I've also got different basils here going on. Got my Genevieve basil, my opal basil. I've been making pesto like crazy. And then I've got some tomatoes that are in here somewhere. Let's see if I can find them. There they are. See those? There they are. And I've got some more over here too. I think that I've got another one. This is a pink ponderosa tomato plant. So, and then I've got a Dr. Witchy's heirloom. Again, all of these I grew from seed. So, another pink ponderosa. I've got some brandywine over on this other side. Again, I've got my basil plants. So, Thai basil, more Genevieve basil, more opal basil. More basil. Basil back there. I seeded some directly into the garden and it's doing amazing. This is the stuff that I seeded only about a month and a half ago. And I think I might just kind of do this method. Maybe have a couple plants that I start early. But as far as my tomato plants, they're all doing really, really well. Keeping them pruned, keeping them tied up. They have a lot of blooms on them. Some of them that are swelling like they've got tomatoes. Obviously, I don't expect that all of these blooms are going to produce tomatoes, but as long as we get a good solid handful, I'll be happy. More of my Genevieve basil. I just pruned that the other day. It's just getting huge. More opal basil. And there's one lonely little pepper back there too. I think that I just had to find a spot for it. I really have a hard time giving up on little plants if I got a seedling out of them. Got leeks down behind there. These are acorn squash, and I think these are coming up. So you can see there's some acorn squash doing their thing. My sunflowers, these are mammoth sunflowers. I had to start them later than the ones that I started outside of the garden. But that's like 4.5 or maybe 5, maybe 6 weeks of growth now. It's amazing. These mammoth sunflowers get super huge, super fast. And then down here, I think I've got the Dinapoli squash. We actually had one. It's a squash, it's like a zucchini squash that has yellow stripes. And I already ate one, so I don't think I have any new ones. The celery, I have some celery that's doing great, some that's going to seed. And so I'm going to use them in a stew. They actually are really pretty good. They're small but tasty. And then we've got, I've got some carrots. These are my first succession, so I'm still picking off of those. We had some rather large carrots we had with dinner last night and the night before. And then I have my second succession, which is over in that bed. And then I did a third succession over in this bed. And then a fourth that they're barely coming up over in this bed. And as you can see, we've been picking stuff out, and I've actually just planted some more stuff. So I've planted some broccoli and some cauliflower is right here that like I said, I'm hoping. I just have some cauliflower in some random spots that I'm hoping to get another harvest out of. And then we've got my Chinese cabbage, which I'm hoping will do better in these summer to fall months. I also just seeded some cilantro from my very own seed that I saved. I also seeded some more marigolds for this fall that I saved from my own seed. So we'll see how they do, but nothing really much to show yet. Got some bull's blood beets here. More leeks. Here's the carrots. More just regular beets. I think early, forget what it's called. Forget what the name of these beets are. They're the kind of cool ones. They have like rings in them. They look really, really pretty. A couple cabbages that I'll probably end up harvesting for some stew. And then we've got our zucchinis, squash, obviously. These are going nuts. We've got another one back there, that yellow zucchini squash. I also have some crookneck squash in here and some patty pan type squash. Yellow patty pan. Oh, where did it go? There he is. That's one of the yellow patty pans. I also had some white patty pan squash. So these are early on a cabbage. These are going to be ready to pick here very, very soon. They only are supposed to get to be like 5 to 6 inches before I can pick them. Again, another random cauliflower. I also planted some more Brussels sprouts, so hopefully we'll be able to do Brussels sprouts better this fall. And over here, the sweet peas, they're kind of falling off. I didn't pick them as much. I did get a few bouquets out of them, but they're going to seed. And as you can see, I'm actually going to be saving the seed on some of these red ones here. I like the red color. I also really like the white, because the white actually smells a lot better than all of the other colors. And then I think I'm going to be saving this fuchsia kind of color here, and possibly this one. I'll probably save all the colors, but I'm really wanting to try to replant these seeds next spring, or I should say I'll be doing it in really late winter. I'll be planting them, but I'm not going to do it on this trellis again. They're really delicate, they break, and you can't pull them through like you can with the tomatoes. So I think what I'm going to do on this trellis next year to bring a little bit of color is get the vining black-eyed Susans, because they'll vine kind of like the beans are doing. Again, we'll look over there at the beans, how that second trellis back, those beans just vine right up and they go up and over. So that is the plan for this, because I really want it to be a full color arch, and it also provides some shade, afternoon shade, for like my lettuces and stuff. We had a lot of stuff going on this summer, so I kind of just pulled up the lettuces that we're going to seed. I only kept a couple that I want to actually collect seed from: my Flashy Gem and my Murville, and another random cauliflower, but this was again carrots and more leeks. I can grow leeks, but I can't grow green onions for some reason. Green onions are my nemesis. So then I've got my the 4 remaining lavender. Actually, I think there's 5. I think there's 2 in the white one of the white pots. But so 5 remaining lavender plants out of the 12. Like I said, when I plant those and when I do my production, I mean my propagating, I actually try to do more so that I know that I'm going to have some that fail. And then this is butter gem that's gone to seed, and more butter gem. I think that they're just coming off of the same plant. And then I have some Henderson's black seeded lettuce, and I have the Lunnix lettuce, more Merville. I just really wanted to make sure that I have some of these heirloom seeds, and since they're self-pollinating, similar to the sweet peas, I can collect this seed and it will be true to what it is. It's not going to be any sort of weird hybrid or anything. So I tried planting, I had kind of showed this before, that I tried planting the tomatoes amongst the sweet peas. It's kind of a mess. It's not really all that great to plant this many things all together, but I was just more or less doing an experiment, and since I have plenty of tomatoes over here, that will do just fine. I'm not really too worried about it. If those plants don't really survive or produce very well, I'm not gonna stress. But I also had some beans in here. I did some pole beans, some really cool pole beans. So I have these rattlesnake pole beans, and they are really cool looking. They've got the neat little mottled kind of color to them. Let me see if I can find some cool ones to show you guys. Oop, there goes the chime. So as you can see, they just have like this really neat color, and when they're sauteed and everything, or you put them under the broiler in the oven, they end up turning green anyway, but still they're kind of fun. And so next year I think I'm going to do another archway between these two, and I'm going to have a lot more beans. And I'm probably going to do something different with my cucumbers next year as well. I like them kind of sort of on the arch trellis, but not as much as I think maybe if I do something different. And we're just going to have to figure something else out. Anyways, that was a quick garden tour. I don't think I showed you the middle. I've got this really pretty thing going on. I'm going to move this, this lemon balm plant though. This is a monster, and I wanted more flower, like floral, like this is what's going on with these nasturtiums. I have this cherry rose nasturtium. This is one seed. My mom was like, oh my gosh, I need that plant. And I said, well, guess what? I'm saving all of the nasturtium seeds from this. And as you can see here, these are going to be the nasturtium seed pods, and they grow themselves, so you just save those and you can pop them right back into the ground. I also have some chamomile. I whacked this way back because it also was just, I mean, it was literally like out to here. It was just taking up my walking space. So I'm going to be planting the chamomile in a different place next year on the property. But so far I've been saving a bunch for tea, and it's amazing. And then I've got some echinacea in here, and some thyme, but nothing's really taken off very well because we've had some slug damage along the way. Chives. I've got my rosemary in pots because these were little teensy weensy babies, so I've been nursing them, and they've been getting big slowly, but I'm going to probably put them all into one big pot in a big giant clump eventually. So then my begonias, my pretty peach begonias, those are there. That's that. That is the garden. On August, I think we're on August 3rd today. So some dill back there. Again, I think I'm going to do a lot of things different next year. I'm going to grow a lot of my flowers in here so that I have some pretty color in the meantime when certain things aren't growing. And I think lots more tomatoes next year. Maybe 2 beds of tomatoes, or just like, you know, two extra beds of tomatoes, and probably more peppers and all of that kind of stuff for this time of the year. And then I'll do my fall crops. I'll have those seeded and ready to plunk in behind once those are all finished. But yeah, hopefully someday we'll get a nice gate for right here, but currently this is all we got going on. So, hope you enjoyed the garden tour, and we'll see you next time. Bye.